Well, we are here. You're there. You ready? Are we all the gang all here and ready to go? All right. Okay. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. Our show. We're here on Sundays and Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. Turn your mic off. I can hear hissing noise in the background. Thank you, appreciate it. We're here again on Sundays and Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. We'll go back to our regular time at 7 in the fall. Let me just let you know that Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform to share important information by educating the Southeast Texas African Americans communities with valuable information on health, education, financial, politics, and business, and a lot more. And also, we are on over 21 social media platforms. You can find us. You can find us at. Let's see, let me put it up here. It won't come up, okay? But you can find us at on Facebook. We are on Facebook. We're on 5 channels in Facebook. Knowledge is Power Podcast the new Not Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We have a new Black Culture page, 365, and the community page, which is great for just the Southeast Texas community. So you can post your events, your all types of things that's going on in the city, community affairs or whatever. You can go to that post and post it, and it will go all over the place so that you can be recognized. And you can reach us on our website at Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. So with that, and again, did I tell you we're on Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, and Google Play. Now, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are now entering our show tonight, and our special guest is the City of Beaumont Mayor, Robin Mouton. Let me give you just a big applause, love. You hear that? Yeah, all right, good. Let me put you on here now. Robin, let me get this out your way so we can see who you are. Okay, got it. Hey, babe, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. Glad to have you, and so glad to have you today on our show. It's a great blessing to have you. Um, and I'm missing behind my screen here, trying to get all this other stuff off the screen. Okay, so hold on. Where am I? All right, here we go. Let me hide that part. Okay, now let me put this back on, and we're ready to go. Robin is with us today, everyone, and it's just so good to have you here. And you've been the mayor for the city of Beaumont 16 months. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So tell us what it's like. What is? I can't even ask the question right, but what is like just being the mayor of this great city? And you've been here for 16 months. What have you learned in the first 16 months you've been here?
Well, it's a busy job.
Mm-hmm.
It takes on a lot of responsibility. However, contrary to public opinion, the mayor is not uh, the person that does the day to day operations. It's the city manager that does the day to day operations of the city. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but you will often hear the mayor before you will hear the city manager
Mm-hmm.
out. Um, but the city manager does do the day to day operation of the city. The council is there to administer um, and supervise only 4 employees of the city, which is the city manager, the city magistrate at municipal court, the city attorney, and the city clerk. Those are the 4 employees of the city that directly report to council, and that the council is directly responsible for and to council.
We've had some you have had some great success in these first 16 months, and I'm going to bring up a few things that that you all have brought to the city, and that was the I think the Juneteenth downtown, right?
That was a big change this year from the past several years. One of the platforms that I ran on is building a better Beaumont, and
Mm-hmm.
connecting downtown and revitalizing downtown with our citizens. And so, there's not a lot of activity that goes on downtown, although we have the Julie Theater, we have the Jefferson Theater, but we want to bring downtown into an everyday lifestyle of living for our city. And so, moving Juneteenth downtown this year, which was very, very successful. It was a great turnout. It was over 3,000 people.
That's
It's
great. That's great.
a very, very hot day.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was, Stevie Wonder has a song say hotter than July.
It was
Uh,
hot.
it was hot. It was hot that day. And
Yeah.
so it was June, but it was really, really hot. But we got through it. And ironically, it was raining all over the city, but downtown was spared that day. We got no rain. And although one of the performers did not get to perform due to lightning, and but Lakeside was able to be on stage and they performed, and it was like being at a 70s concert.
Oh,
So it was a great success, and want to thank all of the city employees. That was a big that was a big change from what they normally do.
mm-hmm.
And not to mention that it was normally Parks does it, but it was shifted to the events department. So it was a different department that was handling it this year. It was a different venue, but when you have a great staff, it always comes together. And so I commend the staff for doing a great job.
Robin, I'm going to ask Chris to ask you the next question. But before I get him to ask you the first question, I'm going to ask Chris. I'm going to ask him to cut it short because we've got to push for time on this show, and I want to make sure we get everything out. So, see, Chris can start talking. He's been asking you a question, but that question lasts about 5 minutes before it's time to give you to answer that question. Okay. But anyway, hey D, we got a big shout out to D Mac Holden. She said, Robin, you're doing a great job. Thank you, D. Thank you, thank you. Okay, you got the next question, my friend.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. How are you?
Evening. I'm great, Chris.
Spectacular. It's good to see you. I wanted you to, if you could, expound a little bit on the caution light at 11th and Washington Boulevard.
Well, of course, we started phase 2 of the Washington Boulevard, the whole new plan, and it started from 4th Street all the way to I-10. So what happened was the fact that once you got to 11th Street, there was the railroad track. So, which it started in 2017, and then it was completed in 2021. We're doing the Washington Boulevard construction phase from 11th Street to I-10. There were some updates that the railroad that came into play while the street was under construction. And so part of the construction, BNSF contractors and TXDOT regarding the construction of the new preemption safety requirements. So there were safety requirements that went into effect that could not well, you couldn't get around them because there were changes that was by law had to be updated and changed. So once that happened and the light was completed, I'm sorry, the construction was completed, they had to stop the functioning of the light because it had to do with uh, the signal and the light from the intersection of 11th Street that required the light to go into a flashing mode when there's a train coming, part of the changes and the requirements, and a lot of it was already there, already done. But once those requirements are changed by the law of what the railroad states, because the railroad is going to override the city, is going to override TxDOT. And so therefore, all of those changes were made during the construction. And so unfortunately, that's why that light was out of operation for that length of time. However, as of last Thursday at 4:30, I was at the corner of Washington and 11th, along with Mellow Styles and Channel 6. I did a live broadcast to let everyone know that the light is now working. And so people, while we were out there interviewing, was still operating as though it was a flashing and caution light. And so hopefully everyone knows at this point or will be aware that that light is now working at 11th and Washington.
Well, great. Well, tell me about the new project that nobody really knows about. I mean, I think Chris Durio, we had him on the show about 3 weeks ago, and he was telling us about the new project. And that project is the new Fourth Street project, and I know everyone on that side of town is going to be happy, happy, happy. It's going to be the new project. Is that street is going to be under construction, and they're going to redo that street. It's going to look like Washington Boulevard with sidewalks, and it's going to have from Calder south to 69, Highway 69. Correct?
Absolutely. And that's a project that has been in the works for a very, very long time. And unfortunately, things in local government just does not move as fast as we would like for it to move. But that project has been approved. It's underway. Again, it's more construction. Everyone wants the work done, but nobody wants to go through the construction phase of it. And it's not going to be pretty for a while. But as you can see, just like Washington Boulevard, once it's completed, you're going to love it. But you have to go through the phase of the construction before we can get to the beautification portion of it. But the citizens will be very, very excited. And it will be to the benefit of the public once it's completed.
Great, great, good. It's going to be good to go down 4th Street without hitting those death bumps in there. Before Trish, you're up, Chris.
Hi, Mayor. I'm just curious. What are some of the things you're looking forward to going forward with Mr. Williams?
Oh, God. I am so excited about Mr. Williams. Of course, if you've heard anything about last Tuesday council meeting, or if you heard about the vote was a 4-3 vote, unfortunately. But it happens. It happens, and everyone has one vote, and that's why you have an odd number, so that you can have a majority vote. So it was a 4-3 vote. We would have loved for it to be 7-0, but we deal in the real world. And so the vote was 4-3. We're going to move forward with the vote. I'm so excited about Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams brings so many opportunities to Beaumont. He's a visionary. He's a planner. Um, he's excited about being here in Beaumont. He has the things that he's done in Buda, Texas, in Lufkin, in Diboll, where he served as city manager, assistant city manager. He comes to Beaumont with over 15 years of city manager experience. And so we really, really are fortunate that he even applied. And so since March, the last of March, or no, 1st of April, we started this process of hiring a company to go through all of the many applicants. It was narrowed down to 50. Out of that 50, we came to a consensus that we would choose 5 out of the 50. Some people chose 5, some people chose 1, some people chose 3. And it was up to each council member to put their choice in rank and file of who they would like to see serve as city manager. So the process was done by an outside independent company, and we only chose the final 3 candidates. And from those 3 candidates that was narrowed down, we began the process of looking at the needs of Beaumont, who would best fit our needs. And we came up with Mr. Kenneth Williams. He comes with a resume that I believe what he's done in the past will absolutely benefit Beaumont. And one of the things I liked about him so much, he started from the bottom. He started from the bottom. He worked his way up. He's pretty much worked in every department in the city. And one of the great things that he's going to bring to Beaumont, because we've been hit by so many hurricanes, he has emergency management background and economic development. And so we are headed towards developing our downtown. So it's just a perfect fit. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better applicant than what we got. He was the most qualified with the best skill set for where we are and where we're trying to take the city.
You know, I'm so glad you said that. Trish, I'm so glad you asked that question, because I think right now, and I'm not going to give you all the props, but I think you need to take your victory lap, because you've won some very, very, very challenging, overcome some very challenging obstacles. And I just think that it takes time. Things doesn't change right away. And this is why we titled this show "The New Chapter of Beaumont, Texas." We feel like we are going in the right direction, regardless of the circumstances. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to ask 2 questions. So I got an old Robin, and I can't remember things, and I have to write things down. So I'm going to go here right now. 2 things. I want to ask you about 555 Main Street, and I'm going to ask you about the battleship of Texas, and hopefully you can tell us a little bit about what's going on there. But before you answer those 2 questions, I commend you and your councils for making the right decision by hiring the right qualified, experienced city manager. And now we can, and I pray to God that we allow him to come here, because there's going to be some hostile environment, to allow this man to do what you hired him to do, and that's manage the city.
Absolutely. So are you making that comment, or are you asking?
I didn't. I mean, no. I was just going on because I had to come back to it, because we didn't give him enough I didn't give him enough, or we didn't give him enough props, but I'm so glad to have him to come here. No one really knows I've been knowing Kenneth for over 30 years. And my first dealership was in Lufkin, Texas in the 90s. So we got a chance to be around each other quite a bit while we've worked in different groups and committees. He had certain committees. In one group, I was the president, he was the vice president. And also, we were basketball officials at that time. That's when I had some good young legs. Then I don't do that no more.
Well,
But okay.
I'm looking forward. I am. I'm looking forward to meeting him. He will be at City Council meeting this Tuesday. I
Yeah.
urge the public to please come out, meet him for yourself. Not only that, there's an interview that he interviewed with our new communication
Mm-hmm.
department, Lauren, that you
Mm-hmm.
can go online under the City of Beaumont website and you can listen to his interview. We've made available his resume, his all of his agreement,
Mm-hmm.
city management agreement that we voted on last Tuesday. And so everything is out in the open. It's full transparency. It's, you know,
Yeah.
it's there out in the open for every individual to make their own decision or of who he is.
Right.
I just
Right.
believe
Right.
don't take the word of anybody else. I don't even know him. I've only met him through questions and interviews that we've
Mm-hmm.
had in executive sessions. So I'm looking forward to sitting down, talking with him, meeting with him one on one, as is the whole entire council.
Right.
You
Right.
know, we've gone through the interviewing process. It's time to get to work now. And
Yes.
we're all excited about moving forward. And I think the city as a whole should be excited
Mm-hmm.
because, um, like you said, I've been in office for 16 months. I came into the office with COVID. Then from COVID, uh, 5 months after I was elected, the city attorney retired after 41 years. Then 3 months later, the city attorney, the city
The city
manager
manager.
retired. And so to have a new mayor come into a new seat and you have a pandemic, you have to hire two of your two of the four of your main departments
Mm-hmm.
that run the city. That was a big undertaking, not only for me but for the entire council. But as the mayor, they're not going to look at everybody on council. They're going to say the mayor. And so that was a big responsibility. And so now we're looking at a new, hopefully it will not be a pandemic. Now we're faced with monkeypox. Right now we have 3 cases of monkeypox in Beaumont.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have a police contract that's coming due. All of this with being a new mayor. So one thing about it, all of it is coming on me at one time, but I promise you I can handle it.
I know you can. That's why we have you there. You're doing a
I
wonderful job, and we thank you so much for that.
can
And let me give a big shout out to Nicole Kyle Burton, and I'm going to read it. She said, "Mr. Williams did a great job, great things in Buda, and lived in Austin for over. She lived in Austin for over 20 years. And if you don't like growth and change, you won't like him. So get ready. He will be great for Bowman." And I agree with you. Stacey Lewis, hey my man, what's going on? He said, "Hello, Najee Power fam. I appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hello. I want to give everybody a shout out that's visiting with us. I've got some folks on other lines that I can't know who it is. So they say you're doing a great job, man, Mouton, and also someone else on Facebook user saying congratulations Mr. Williams. And let's see here. And also, she wanted to let you know that she loves the transparency of what we're doing here. Mr. Williams, Kenneth Williams, the new city manager, will be our guest next Sunday here at Knowledge is Power podcast at 8 o'clock next Sunday. So I would encourage you to come and get to know Mr. Williams. He's going to be our guest next Sunday. And we also urge you to come out to city council, people. Get involved. Find out what's going on. You can't get it all right here. You got to get involved. Go down at going 30 on Tuesdays. If you're off or you're working shift work and you're off, get involved. Go downtown and find out what's going on. You would have been amazed at what's going on that you did not know. And maybe you can have a better understanding how the city operates. So next Tuesday, the new city manager, Kenneth Williams, would be there. So let's give him a big showing that we're waiting on him and we're ready to take another level. One of my other co-hosts just joined us. I don't know if he's got anything he want to ask, but I'm gonna let you slide in here because I don't like you being late on the show. I'm a time man. Let's go.
I got a busy life, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, how you doing? Mayor.
How are you?
I'm good. What are we gonna do to increase the amount of night meetings we have, and what do you think is gonna take to get people to start coming out?
Well, before she answered that question, Terry, let me piggyback on you right there. This is the same question, Robin, but one of the things that I've noticed that there is not enough awareness of when it's time for a night meeting. And nobody really knows that's night meeting. You said go to the website. We know we need more transparency on that on when we're having night meetings, so evening meetings at 6:30 at City Hall. So now go ahead and answer Terry a question.
Okay. How are you, Terry?
I'm good.
Well,
I'm good.
Normally we have one quarterly night meeting, and the first meeting we had a full room. The next meeting, it dwindled down, and then by the third night meeting, I think we had more staff. We had more staff than we had citizens. And so what I will do prior to having the next night meeting, I will make sure that it's announced during the day meetings so that people can be aware, plan for it. We can also put it on the calendar well in advance, but I'll also announce it during the regular meeting to let people know. I just think that after you've worked all day, especially with school starting, it's just the commitment of people, with their evening commitments. After you get off at 5 o'clock, you probably have multiple meetings, or you're trying to pick kids up from school, from different practices, get them to their events. And so we've tried to accommodate citizens. And there are some cities, they only have night meetings. And so we've tried to look at different ways. We've even tried in the past moving the entire meeting away from City Hall to one of our event facilities, which is very costly because you have to move all of your media coverage. You have to move everything to that particular hall. So if anybody have any suggestions of things that we can do,
I have one.
Making sure that people are aware well in advance of when the meeting will be, then I welcome any suggestions because I want people to be involved. I want people to know. I want everything so transparent so that when other statements are made, you will know that that is not what's happening and that's not the truth.
I agree with you, Robin, because 90% of the stuff that we read, the community reads and hear the news and read about what's going on, 90% of it is totally, completely false.
That,
not real or not true.
that's
Okay.
absolutely true.
Yeah. So you got to get involved, people, and find out what's going on. This is why we bring you whatever we can find out that is true. We bring it to you with the facts of what's going on in the city of Beaumont and in Southeast Texas, because we are heard in all over Southeast Texas and this country. So Terry, you got one. You got an answer. Matter of fact, Terry has a solution for that.
To what? To the meetings?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how legal or illegal it is to maybe have one on a Saturday evening. I don't know if that's something that they can do or not. Maybe at 1:30 on a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you gotta try something to get
Yeah.
people involved. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
you
But
just
you know
never
the main
know.
Terry, people have to
Huh?
want to be. People have to want to be involved.
You're
Right.
right. You're right.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, people have
Absolutely
to want to
correct.
be involved. And you know what? This is what I say. This is your city. You live in this city. Don't depend on somebody else to give you secondhand information. I
Yep.
mean, we make accommodations for every and anything that we want to do. So, what's important to you, you'll make the time and you'll make the accommodations for it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the problem. A lot of people really not. I don't know if they don't care or what. I don't know.
I think they care. I think
Yeah.
they care. I think we use a lot of crutches and say, "Oh, I can't make it because of this," or I work, but you know, we have PTO time, we
Yeah.
have vacation time, and I'm not saying take a vacation day, but sometimes you may be off on a Tuesday. I just really think it's just in the back of people's mind, and then they hear things and then they run with the information that they hear, and then a lot of times it's just false facts. And I just urge everyone, even if you can't make it to a meeting, go back and pull up the city council meeting. You can go back and pull up, I'll say, like last Tuesday city council meeting. That was one of the best city council meetings in the past 7 years that I've even attended.
Yep.
Been a
It
part.
was.
It was.
That was you got to see the full effect of local government at its best last Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was absolutely one of the best meetings I've ever attended or been a part of.
I agree. I agree.
And extremely informative. I mean, like the entire meeting was extremely informative, especially for somebody that has been paying attention to their local government, whether they're in city council or watching it on the live stream or going back after it's been posted on the YouTube or on the city website. I will say, um, based on just a litmus, one of the things is, Mayor, and you mentioned it. People want to attend, they just don't have one. They don't have the time because of previous commitments, and to shuffle those commitments is a task, especially like you mentioned. Maintaining the household, especially being that children are back in school. So it's a lot of things that our families and individuals who would like to attend council have to juggle. So, I mean, uh,
Well, a lot of
the
hard work.
website is the website. I will say grants a lot of people access. I would say, if someone isn't there, allow them to, I guess. But then that kind of defeats the purpose of sending emails, and that's why I promote anybody and everybody not to just reach out to your member of council and mayor uh, through phone call and or email. But if you can make city council, then by all means do that. But I know for sure you can call and send an email directly to you. So I will promote that also if you want to have access.
Absolutely. And Chris, like you said, I think people want to attend. And like I said, I mean, there's a lot of people that work past 5 o'clock. Um, there's a lot of single mothers out there that are working, trying to get it done, and they're shuffling kids. You probably have 2 and 3 kids going to 3 different directions, 3 different events. And so it's hard, but I would encourage them, or call. The secretary will take a message, and she will ask, can you tell me what it's in reference to? And even if you don't even want to give what it's in reference to, you could just ask for a callback. But somehow, some way, get involved. It's a lot of good information out there.
The communications division on Facebook, especially where I've noticed them, they're doing really well. There's a lot more information out there than before they started.
It's a lot more, and that's the department that was created to get the information out to the public, because
Yes.
so many people, we're busy. Everybody's busy. Everybody's living through their cell phones. They're living through their cell phones. But one good thing about a cell phone, you can get whatever you need through your cell phone, get it and go. Kenny.
I also must say that our city attorney is fantastic. She's fantastic.
Oh yeah, she's
I
phenomenal.
She's really, really good.
Yes, you have made some good decision for the city, and I want to compliment you and your staff, and city councilman, for what we've accomplished in the last 16 months. I need to ask these 2 questions because I promised you I was going to give you my time, your time that you requested only. And I need to ask these 2 questions, and we're going to move on and let you have the rest of your day. 555 Main, hurry, quick, 2 minutes.
Main will be going out for bid, and it's going to be a public bid where anyone can bid if they. Well, let me first say this. We had a buyer that was interested in buying the building back from the city. And so the decision to look at that was to save our taxpayers dollars, because that way a developer could have come in, paid us back the money in which we spent to buy the building, and come back in and reinvest their dollars to create a facility using the 555 address, using that 555 platform property, and come in and redesign that whole entire building. It's so ironic. That building has been a part of my life since I was 18 years old. And for me to be the mayor now and come in, and on my very first day, that was part of my agenda on the first day of my swearing in as the mayor, because I worked in that building for 32 years. And so, working in that building for 32 years, we were always told that you'll never retire from that building, because the city's going to buy that building, they're going to tear it down, and they're going to build the riverfront. So when you've heard that most of your career, and then you become the mayor, and on day one, this is part of your agenda. And so you have to say, that is truly, truly a God thing. And so there have been plans for that building and for the downtown redevelopment since 1960. Since 1960, the plan has been changed. I think there are 4 other different versions of that plan that the city has. And so we want to make sure that the best possible project and development can take place in that spot and become the riverfront development, not for council, but for the entire citizens of Beaumont. I'm looking forward to the day that I could walk or drive downtown Beaumont and say, once upon a time in this spot was a building I work in, but now look at it. And I think everybody in Beaumont is excited and looking forward to having downtown transformed and a new vision for the riverfront. You're talking riverfront property. That is some of the most prime property that you could ever have in your possession. And we have it in our possession. We own it, we control it, and I'm just looking forward to see what's going to become of it, along with, you know, the citizens telling us what they want to see for their city.
Okay, thank you. We got one more. Battleship of Texas. Please don't tell
Well,
me we can. Okay.
Battleship of Texas is headed to Galveston um, to be worked on. And let's see, we have not made any decision on it. It's, I think it would really be great for the city of Beaumont to have a historic battleship in your city, because it's going to bring visitors, it's going to bring recognition to our city. But I just always believe you got to count the costs. You have
Yes.
to count the costs.
Right.
And so I want to make sure when I vote for something like that, that we don't leave our city in a position that it's going to cause the taxpayers to have to absorb a cost that we're not prepared to absorb. So if funding is available, space is available, and of course it's going to bring historic value to our city, I'm all for it. But every piece of the puzzle has to fit. And we cannot leave it in a position where the citizens of Beaumont will be in a crossfire of having taxes raised to afford the battleship to be here. I think it's a great idea. I really do. And
Yeah.
I'm only speaking for myself, not as an entire city or council, but as a city as a whole. I think it will bring um, visitors here, and again, historic value to our city.
I was telling the Ward 2 councilman when he was on our show by maybe a month ago that if we had to bring we decided to accept bringing the Battleship Texas here, it needs more attraction downtown to keep to compete with that. Not either to compete, but just to have something else.
Compliment it.
Right, complement the
Right.
battleship.
You just can't have a battleship
He's right.
down
They
and
don't have
expect
nothing else
it.
down there. We gonna go. Dean's Barbecue has been closed 40 years. But
Right.
but we gotta have something. Did you fall out the chair, Robin?
No, my
No,
phone
she's a
fell
good
off.
friend.
Oh, your camera, man. But I thought maybe I said something. You fell out the chair. But anyway,
No,
I
but
was.
you went way back to Dean's Barbecue. You're right. That's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, right, right. So, but we need more attraction downtown, and for that to happen, a lot of landowners or landlords going to have to open up. They're going to have to open up. Uh, uh, letting folks come in and have leasing places or give an opportunity to do business downtown so that we can have some good attractions to draw people downtown because the battleship just like gonna just do it all by themselves. I mean, where you gonna go to eat? You gotta get back in your car. You gotta drive across town, go to another restaurant, or go to a restaurant or a hotel. So we need more attraction downtown. And Robin, that's not for you to answer, but that's what we've got our new city manager that's going to be here
Absolutely.
to be able to help us, guide us to what we need to do for the city of Beaumont, which is best for us. Someone with creative ideals and with a vision, because we had not had a vision for the past 20 years or so. So,
Well, and I'm going to tell you this. The vision has been there. Like I said, there's been plans since 1960. I was born in 1960.
don't
So
tell
the
you,
plan has
don't
been
tell
there.
your age like that. Don't tell your
I'm
age like
okay because guess what?
that.
With COVID
Yeah.
and surviving COVID, I'm glad to say it. So I'm okay with that.
I'm right.
But
I'm with you.
um, there's been a plan and there's been several revisions of the plan.
Mhm.
It just hasn't been any
Execute.
implementation and
Right.
moving forward
Right.
of the
Execution.
plan. And like I tell you, my whole entire career working at 555 Main, we were just always told you'll never retire from this building because it'll be gone. And I worked there 32 years. I've been retired. It'll be 13 years in a few months. And so that's a long time.
Hmm.
That's a long time and that's why I believe citizens keep saying, well, nothing is going to happen. When you keep making promises or saying that you're going to do something and then you don't see anything, um, anybody would just get weary of, well, what's going to happen? So I believe we have the right city manager in place for this time to move us forward to where, and he has the skill set to move us forward to the vision of what the city is moving towards.
I agree. Don't you guys agree?
Yep.
All right. Just a reminder before we close out that Kenneth Williams, the new city manager, will be here in Beaumont at City Council meeting at 1:30 on Tuesday, this Tuesday, day after tomorrow. We urge everyone to come out and support him, give him some love, let him know that we welcome him to our city. Is anything we missed? We want to say something, ask Robin before we get off, because it's going to be another year before we can get it back on here. Our schedule's so busy.
No, you won't. No.
Oh,
Hey,
babe.
let
And
me tell
Kenneth,
y'all something.
uh-huh.
Tony texted me this morning, and the only reason why I saw the text is because the lights were out in our church. The lights were out from I-10 all the way down Finette Road, 11th Street. And so I look at my phone because we didn't have church this morning. And Tony said, you have to be on the show today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the show today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said it's a must. You
So
must be
I'm
on the
real
show
flexible. I
tonight.
promise
Yeah.
you. I'm real flexible.
Uh, let me just say this, Robin Mouton, Mayor Robin Mouton, you've done a great job. We appreciate you, and the community appreciate you. The city of Beaumont appreciate you and your councilman, and we're going somewhere now. We're getting somewhere now, and I think like I said, this is a new chapter for the city of Beaumont, Texas. Anyone who wants to add on, and Robin, you can give us the last word. We'll close us out, boo.
Well, it is a new chapter, and one of the great things is that when I ran on building a better Beaumont, and I believe at this point um, we have the new hires in place. We have a new city attorney. We have a new city manager. I think we're not totally out of COVID. I think we will just have to learn how to live with and through COVID. I believe we will get through the monkeypox. And those type of plagues, you're gonna have those things, just like we have hurricanes, and we recover from them. But I believe we are headed in the right direction. Nothing is perfect, but I believe giving us the opportunity to work with Mr. Williams, get all the negative behind us, and let's move forward and work together. People send us texts and they send us notes all the time. They send us notes when they like something, but I promise you, we get more texts and more calls and more emails what they don't like. And you have to listen to it all, because you're serving a community and you're serving citizens. And so I want to hear it all, because I want the good along with, and I won't even call it the bad. I want the good along with every other comment to make this city a better city, and what the potential of Beaumont has to be. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited.
I am too.
Because I can see the changes where I live in the past 6 months. It was a fight to get some stuff done, but it's about being vigilant.
That's right, Terry. And you're always at city council.
That's right.
It was, but it pays off. I mean, I can walk outside and see stuff out there that I didn't think I'd ever see. So, and everybody should do that.
Hey, we're on our way. And I urge you to join us on Tuesday at City Council meeting downtown at 1:30 on Tuesday to meet and greet our new city manager, Kenneth Williams. And also, the city manager will be on our show next Sunday right here at 8 o'clock on Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Thank you, Mayor Robin Mouton. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you for coming on.
Tony, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And thank all of the guests for your questions.
Yes.
And again, I'm available anytime. Email.
That. I wake you up in the morning early.
All I'm going to say is 1978 Heber Panthers is always the best.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. And so, you did 54 minutes. I don't want to do the 30 minutes, Tony. I just can't do that. You know you did that long. I know you didn't think it was going to be that long, but hey, you're lucky. I had Chris Jones to cut his questions short. He going to a narrative that
she'll get a text message. We dialogue consistently.
I talk to Chris almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, he asks you one question, and he goes into a dialogue, and I just tell him, "Come on, let's get to the point, man. Let's get one question."
Chris will text me. I promise you.
Yeah, I'd rather him text me to have a conversation with. I'm sitting here, okay. All right, okay. So, what's the question? Let's get to the point. Well, thank you again.
Well, again, people come out, and please come out and greet our new city manager. Awesome. Show him a big Beaumont welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching us on Knowledge is Power Podcast Live.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.